Good morning.
Good morning.
Most of you probably don't know that I received an honorable discharge from the United States Army Reserve. And the story, how that happened, is an interesting one, and one of sacrifice. If you know my story, you know that I always thought that I was going to be a doctor. A surgeon, actually. And so as it came time to prepare for college, I applied for an Army ROTC scholarship and was awarded it. But as I went through my college career, it became clear that my desire to kind of meld God's call for me to be a priest and a doctor was not going to work out. My plan was I'd go through Army ROTC, I'd graduate with the Army paying for my undergraduate school. They'd send me on to medical school, they'd pay for medical school and residency as well, and then I would serve the United States Army as a surgeon, caring for those patriot soldiers who were defending the homeland. And then when I was discharged, I'd go to seminary, and God could use me somehow in both ways. But that was my plan, not God's plan. And when it became clear that God wanted me to abandon the medical field, I talked to my colonel about what the Army would do with me, graduating with a biology and chemistry degree. And he said, the need right now is for the chemical corps. And what I realized is that instead of caring for those who had been injured in war, I would be working to develop instruments of war to kill other people. So I had a decision to make. So I resigned my scholarship. Was given the honorable discharge. But my parents are the ones who were the true heroes. You see, they thought, this is a great deal for us. He's going to this elite private college, and everything is being paid for. All tuition, all housing, all food, all books, all incidental expenses, plus he gets a $100 stipend a month. Now, they had to figure out how they were going to pay for the rest of a college degree at this school. I am in awe of the love and the sacrifice that they offered me because they knew that I was following God's call. I think they put another mortgage on the house. I don't know what other sacrifices they made, but I know that they surrendered a lot so that I could do what they knew and I knew that God wanted me to do. When we talk about love in this culture, most of the time it's a sappy, sentimental kind of emotion. But when the scriptures talk about love, they talk about selfless sacrifice and commitment. The kind of selfless sacrifice and commitment that my parents offered me and continue to offer me. And when we talk about God as Trinity, I don't want to talk about all of the theological ramifications, and I certainly don't want to talk about the prayer that we all pray together that I think is the most preposterous prayer that we're asked to pray each year. We're going to worship the unity. What the heck does that mean? I can't identify with that at all. But what I can identify with is a God of love. And a God who poured out generously this entire creation for us to delight in. Every breath, everything that we have and use, and fashion and shape to make our lives better has all been given to us as a gift from God. When we look in the sky and see galaxies billions of light years away, it's all there for our delight and for our enjoyment. When I think of God's love, I think of the Word that became human flesh and moved into the neighborhood. And this Jesus, this God in human flesh, who wasn't content to allow us to suffer the indignities that other people would throw at us, that the evil one would throw at us, and the sins and the brokenness that we bring upon ourselves. And stretched arms of love on the cross to protect us, like the Good Shepherd protects us from the wolves of our own making, and the wolves of others and the evil one. And when I think of God's love, I think of the gift of the promised Spirit that Jesus talked about today. The Spirit that surrounds us and fills us, this gift of God, this gift that says, you will never be alone. You will never be abandoned. I will always be with you. I will sustain you. I will teach you all sorts of new things as your life unfolds and develops. Guide you in new paths. And perhaps most importantly of all, I will give you the strength to love like God loves. To offer your life as a sacrifice. To offer my life as a sacrifice. That those who have not yet experienced the love of God can experience it in its awesome fullness and glory. Eastern Christians say about the Trinity, it is a mystery. But that mystery is expressed in one word, love. Give yourself to God's love. And allow the love of God, Father, Son, and Spirit to swirl in you, around you, to empower you. And like my parents, sacrifice not only for those in your family, but offer your lives as a sacrifice